Janavalabha Girivaridhari
Janavalabha Girivaridhari
Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana
Yasodanandana
Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana
Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjavihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjavihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjavihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjavihari.
Took my glasses out. I don't know what I did with them.
What'd you say?
I took my glasses out, then I couldn't find where I put them. That's the first time I ever had it. It's like going to a guru and then not utilizing his instruction. Can't really see unless you follow his instruction. Thank you, Marcy. Krishna is the lover of Radha. He displays many amorous pastimes in the groves of Vrindavan. He is the lover of the cowherd maidens of Raj, the holder of the great hill named Govardhan, the beloved son of Mother Jasoda, and the delighter of the inhabitants of Raj. He wanders in the forest along the banks of the river Jamuna. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devin Saraswati Yatsam
Tato Jayam Udiraya
Tato Jaya Vidiraya
Shrinvatam Swagata Krishna
Linkanta Krishna
Punya Shravana Kirtana
Punya Dhamana Kirtana
Vidyantahasto Yabadrani
Vidyanto Savadani
Vidunoti Suritsatam
Vidinosi Saritsatam
Nastabreshu Bhadreshu
Nastavreshu Bhagreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nijam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavat Utamashloke
Bhagavati Nastoke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki
Bhakti Bhagavati Naistiki
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd Canto, 4th chapter, text number 25, which is the last text of this chapter. Please repeat. Etat Evatma Bu Rajan Naradaya Viprichate Veda,
Veda,
Garbo,
Garbo,
Vyadhat,
Vyadhat,
Shakshad,
Shakshad,
Vyahat, Shakshad,
Vyadhat, Shakshad,
Yad,
Yad, Aha,
Harir,
Hare,
Amanaha,
Atmanaha,
Etad Evatma Bu Rajan,
Eta Devatma Bhujajan,
Naradaya Viprijate,
Naradaya Varichyate,
Veda Garbo Vyadat Saksad,
Veda Garbo Vyat Saksad,
Yadaha Harir Atmanaha,
Yadaha Dayanaha,
Etad Evatma Bu Rajan,
Eta Devatma Bhujajan,
Naradaya Viprijate,
Naradaya Varichyate,
Veda Garbo Vyadat Saksad,
Veda Garbo Vyat Saksad,
Yadaha Harir Atmanaha,
Yadaha Eta Devatma Bhurajan, Naradaya Varichyate, Veda Garbo Vyat Saksad, Yadaha Hare Amanaha,
Eta Devatma Bhurajan,
Eta Devatma Bhurajan,
Naradaya is that a part? Viprijate,
Naradaya Varichyate,
Veda Garbo Vyadat Shakshad,
Veda Garbo Vyat Saksad,
Ya Aha Hari Atmanaha,
Yadaha Hare Atmanaha,
Etadevatma Purajan,
Eta Devatma Bhurajan,
Naradaya Viprishtate,
Naradaya Varichyate,
Veda Garbo Vyadhat Sakshan,
Veda Garbo Vyat Saksad,
Yadaha Hariratmanaha,
Yadaha Atmanaha, Veda Bhurajan, Naradaya Varichyate, Veda Garbo Vyat Saksad, Yadaha Atmanaha, Veda Devatma Bhurajan, Naradaya Varichyate, Veda Garbo Vyat Saksad, Yadaha Atmanaha, Veda Devatma Bhurajan, Naradaya Varichyate, Veda Garbo Vyat Saksad, Yadaha Atmanaha, Eta Devatma Bhurajan, Naradaya Varichyate, Veda Garbo Vyat Saksad, Yadaha Atmanaha, Eta Devatma Bhurajan, Naradaya Varichyate, Veda Garbo Vyat Saksad, Yadaha Atmanaha.
I just noticed those beams of light over there shining toward Lord Jagannath. In the movies, and you see a divine inspiration. Beautiful. Please repeat. Eta.
Eta.
There it is. I got it. I'm sorry. On this matter.
On this matter.
Eva.
Eva.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Atma Bahu,
Atma Bahu,
the firstborn,
the firstborn,
Brahmaji.
Brahmaji,
Rajan,
Rajan,
my dear king.
my dear king,
Naradaya,
Naradaya,
unto Narada Muni.
unto Narada Muni,
Viprachate,
Vipajate,
having inquired about it from
having inquired about it from
Veda Garbha,
Vedagarbha,
one who is impregnated with Vedic knowledge
one who is impregnated with Vedic knowledge
from birth.
from birth.
Abhyadhat,
Abhyadhat,
apprised.
apprised.
Shakshat,
Sakshat,
directly.
directly.
Yataha,
Yatmaha,
what he spoke.
what he spoke.
Hari,
Hari,
the Lord.
the Lord.
Atmanaha,
Atmanaha,
unto his own.
unto his own.
Brahma.
Brahma.
Translation. Please repeat. My dear king,
My dear king,
Brahma,
Brahma,
the firstborn,
the firstborn,
on being questioned by Narada,
on being questioned by Narada,
exactly apprised him on this subject,
exactly apprised him on this subject,
as it was directly spoken by the Lord
as it was directly spoken by the Lord
to his own son,
to his own son,
who was impregnated
who was impregnated
with Vedic knowledge
with Vedic knowledge
from his very birth.
from his very birth.
My dear king, Brahma, the firstborn, on being questioned by Narada, exactly apprised him on this subject, as it was directly spoken by the Lord to his own son, who was impregnated with Vedic knowledge from his very birth. Purport. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
As soon as Brahma was born of the abdominal lotus petals of Vishnu, he was impregnated with Vedic knowledge, and therefore he is known as Veda Garbha, or a Vedantist from the embryo. Without Vedic knowledge, or perfect infallible knowledge, no one can create anything. All scientific knowledge and perfect knowledge are Vedic. One can get all types of information from the Vedas. As such, Brahma was impregnated with all perfect knowledge, so that it was possible for him to create. I have to pause here because I did forget something. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Thus Brahma knew the perfect description of creation, as it was exactly apprised to him by the Supreme Lord Hari. Brahma, on being questioned by Narada, told Narada exactly what he had heard directly from the Lord. Narada again told exactly the same thing to Vyas, and Vyas also told Shukadev exactly what he heard from Narada. And Shukadev was going to repeat the same statements as he had heard them from Vyas. That is the way of Vedic understanding. The language of the Vedas can be revealed only by the above-mentioned disciplic succession, and not otherwise. The language of the Vedas can be revealed only by the above-mentioned disciplic succession, and not otherwise. There is no use in theories. Knowledge must be factual. There are many things that are complicated, and one cannot understand them unless they are explained by one who knows. The Vedic knowledge is also very difficult to know and must be learned by the above-mentioned system. Otherwise, it is not at all understood. Shukadeva Goswami, therefore, prayed for the mercy of the Lord so that he might be able to repeat the very same message that was spoken directly by the Lord to Brahma, or what was directly spoken by Brahma to Narada. Therefore, the statements of creation explained by Shukadeva Goswami are not all, as the mundaner suggests, theoretical.
Are not
At all.
Makes a difference.
Huh?
Are not at all.
Oh, did I miss that?
Yeah.
You missed that and changed the meaning.
Oh. I was going to reread it. Yeah, that was important. Therefore, the statements of creation explained by Shukadeva Goswami are not at all common, as the mundaner suggests, theoretical, but are perfectly correct. One who hears these messages and tries to assimilate them gets perfect information of the material creation. Translation again. My dear king, Brahma, the firstborn, on being questioned by Narada, exactly apprised him on this subject as it was directly spoken by the Lord to his own son, who was impregnated with Vedic knowledge from his very birth. Oh, this previous verse is so sweet. Y'all covered it yesterday, I guess. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of Vasudeva, who compiled the Vedic scriptures. The pure devotees drink of the nectarian transcendental knowledge dropping from the lotus-like mouth of the Lord. Everything is so personal. Transmission of knowledge is so sweet in this process. It's described so beautifully in the Vedas. Bhagavad Gita 4:2. Evam parampara praptam imam rajasya vidu. Our disciplic succession starts with Krishna. And at the end of the introduction of our Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, it lists. And I was curious why we don't have a poster like we have at Narasevika of the disciplic succession. Like somewhere in the temple maybe, so that we can show that there's such an amazing disciplic succession.
We have one at school.
Oh, really? In the school down there?
That might not be displayed right now, but I can.
Is that the one Donovan Maharaj made? And it has like 25
Yeah.
pictures? Yeah. It was laminated. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was framed up there. I'm not sure. But it was so nice. Because when you're preaching to somebody in the temple, you can show them the disciplic succession.
A lot.
Amazing. Beautiful to look
You can
at.
find a spot for it.
Yeah,
You
we're
can find a
right.
spot.
Yeah, I was just pondering that. I was just wondering about it. Because
You see every single place there is something.
yeah. I'm going to be the greeter on Saturday with the cow festival. And so, it would
Help you out.
at least have it there on that day. I can say, wow, look at this. Isn't this
I
amazing?
can ask Kalindi if she knows where it is.
There's actually an empty wall right there where there used to be a picture of Prabhupada.
Prabhupada. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right there.
So, Brahma Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So, Brahma's in our Sampradaya. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Our Sampradaya starts with Krishna, and then Lord Brahma, and then Narada, Vyas, Madhva, Padmanabha, Nirhari, Madhava, Akshobhya, Jayatirtha, Gamasindhu, Dayanidhi, Vidyanidhi, Rajendra, Jayadharma, Purusottama, Ramanya Tirtha, Vyas Tirtha, Lakshmi Pati, Madhavendra Puri, Ishwar Puri, and in parentheses, Nityananda and Dvaita. And then number 22, Lord Chaitanya, large dark print. And then number 23, Rupa, along with Sarup, Sanatana. And then 24, Raghunath and Jiva. 25 is Krishna Das, 26 is Narottama, then Vishwanath, and then 28, Baladev, Jagannath, 29, Bhaktivinoda, and 30 is Gaura Kishore, then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So, we have a lot of responsibility, like, personally I'd rather just sit on the floor, but if we're sitting here, we better know, we better be very careful what we say, because the Parampara, they have our back. Srila Prabhupada has our back, there's no doubt about it. But out of love and deep respect, we have to be very careful what we say. I was trying to explain that to Fed the other day, the seat of Vyas, what it means to actually sit on these seats, and it's very humbling, very, very humbling. So, Prabhupada says in the purport, there's no use in theories. Knowledge must be factual. There are many things that are complicated, and one cannot understand them unless they are explained by one who knows. Vedic knowledge is also very difficult to know. It must be learned by the above-mentioned system. Otherwise, it is not at all understood. Just like in martial arts, you might be able to learn the system without a martial arts guru, but it does not mean that you understand the finer, what you're supposed to be meditating on, why you're doing that form, and how you're supposed to do it properly, and what you're supposed to accomplish by doing it, and the tradition of how that form is developed. And so there's a lot more than just the outward appearance, Just like when we're speaking to people out there, we call it preaching. I like to call it sharing knowledge, because I don't want to insult them. And even Fayette's learned this also. He's learned that if you can help them to discover it on their own, then they'll claim it as their own. Because, Fayette's a pretty humble guy, He is very humble. So I guess that's why he's around, so Krishna could teach me how to be humble. He loves to preach. But what I want to do now, since it's already 15 after, it takes 12 minutes to read all the text in this chapter. I timed it last night, so I can fit that in. Some very sweet text. This is the last text of this chapter. And I'm not going to do the Sanskrit, so I'll...
What chapter is that from?
This is chapter 4.
Same chapter we're in.
Yeah.
Just gonna read
I'm just going to review all of the text, since this is the last text of this chapter. Oh yeah, I said that at the beginning of class, sorry. This chapter is called The Process of Creation. And I'll just read the English. Do you want me to give you the number of each text as I read them? No, not necessarily. Sutta Goswami said, Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Uttara, after hearing the speeches of Shukadeva Goswami, which were all about the truth of the self, applied his concentration faithfully upon Lord Krishna. Maharaj Parikshit, as a result of his wholehearted attraction for Lord Krishna, was able to give up all deep-rooted affection for his personal body, his wife, his children, his palace, his animals, like horses and elephants, his treasury house, his friends and relatives, and his undisputed kingdom. O great sages, the great soul, Maharaj Parikshit, constantly wrapped in thought of Lord Krishna, knowing well of his imminent death, renounced all sorts of fruitive activities, namely acts of religion, economic development, and sense gratification, and thus fixed himself firmly in his natural love for Krishna, and asked all these questions exactly as you are asking me. Maharaj Krishna said, O learned Brahmana, you know everything because you are without material contamination. Therefore, whatever you have spoken to me appears perfectly right. Your speeches are gradually destroying the darkness of my ignorance, for you are narrating the topics of the Lord. I beg to know from you the personality of Godhead by his personal energies. I beg to know from you how the personality of Godhead by his personal energies creates these phenomenal universes as they are, which are inconceivable even to the great demigods. Kindly describe how the Supreme Lord, who is all-powerful, engages his different energies and different expansions in maintaining and again winding up the phenomenal world in the sporting spirit of a player. O learned Brahmana, the transcendental activities of the Lord are all wonderful, and they appear inconceivable because even great endeavors by many learned scholars have still proved insufficient for understanding them. I'm going to read that one again. O learned Brahmana, the transcendental qualities of the Lord are all wonderful, and they appear inconceivable because even great endeavors by many learned scholars have still proved insufficient for understanding them. That would be a good verse to read to somebody who either comes here or we meet out there and they have difficulty with the whole appearance of our philosophy or whatever, you know. And the important Chinti Beta Beta Tattva, inconceivably simultaneously one and yet different. And yes, you are glorious. You are a child of God. You are glorious. There's no questioning that. And once you establish that, that satisfies their ego. And because a lot of people think we're attacking what they already believe, but we're not attacking. We're just providing a beautiful way to polish what you're already doing and make it shine, Prabhu says. Bhakti Yoga. How to do everything for the Lord. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is one, whether he alone acts with the modes of material nature, or simultaneously expands in many forms, or expands consecutively to direct the modes of nature. Kindly clear all these doubtful inquiries, because you are not only vastly learned in the Vedic literatures and self-realized in transcendence, but are also a great devotee of the Lord, and are therefore as good as the personality of Godhead. Sutta Goswami said, when Shukadeva Goswami was thus requested by the king to describe the creative energy of the personality of Godhead, he then systematically remembered the master of the senses, Sri Krishna, and to reply properly he spoke thus. Shukadeva Goswami said, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who, for the creation of the material world, accepts the three modes of nature. He is the complete whole, residing within the body of everyone, and his ways are inconceivable. I again offer my respectful obeisances unto the form of complete existence and transcendence, who is the liberator of the pious devotees from all distresses, and the destroyer of the further advances in atheistic temperament of the non-devotee demons. For the transcendentalists who are situated in the topmost spiritual perfection, he grants their specific destinations. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto he who is the associate of the members of the Yadu dynasty, and who is always a problem for the non-devotees. He is the supreme enjoyer of both the material and spiritual worlds, yet he enjoys his own abode in the spiritual sky. There is no one equal to him because his transcendental opulence is immeasurable. Let me offer my respectful obeisances again and again unto the all-auspicious Lord Sri Krishna, the highly intellectual. Wait a minute, let me skip back here. I skipped one. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the all-auspicious Lord Sri Krishna, about whom glorification, remembrances, audience, prayers, hearing, and worship can at once cleanse the effects of all sins of the performer. Let me offer my respectful obeisances again and again unto the all-auspicious Lord Sri Krishna, the highly intellectual, simply by surrendering unto his lotus feet, are relieved of all attachments to the present and future existences, and without difficulty progress toward spiritual existence. I was meditating on this verse last night because sometimes we come across very intelligent people, and I thought this would be a good verse to read to them. Let me offer my respectful obeisances again and again unto the all-auspicious Lord Sri Krishna, the highly intellectual. That praises them. So people like you, this is a good verse for you. The highly intellectual, simply by surrendering unto his lotus feet, are relieved of all attachments to present and future existences, and without difficulty progress towards spiritual existence. That's pretty deep. Because, sometimes they think that we're challenging them because their entire life they built this little sandcastle. I know when I was a child, I used to build sandcastles, And the other kids, their main thing was to run through there and destroy them, Just destroy them. I spent like a couple hours building a beautiful sandcastle. And I never understood that, but that's kind of like the demoniac attitude, But anyway, so they spend their whole lives building a sandcastle, So you're saying this over here, like when we're talking to them, you're saying that I'm wrong, that this is wrong, and I spent so many years, constructing this, and this is what I believe, and everything I hold dear and cherish. You're saying that I'm wrong, even if you're just saying I'm partly wrong, they're offended. So if we can quote a verse like this, saying that no, you are special, you are glorious, you are a child of God, and we're just here to assist you, to help you, to guide you. And we're not, there's nothing you have that we want, but we have everything to give you. All the pieces of the puzzle will fit, and everything that has ever been predicted in the Mahabharata has come true, and everything predicted will come true, Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the all-auspicious Lord Sri Krishna again and again, because the great learned sages, the great performers of charity, the great workers of distinction, the great philosophers and mystics, the great chanters of the Vedic hymns, and the great followers of Vedic principles cannot achieve any fruitful result without dedication of such great qualities to the service of the Lord. And if one has qualities like that, then the Lord gives you more qualities. He sees that that the devotees are not misusing what He's already given. He gives even more blessings, more blessings. You do everything for Krishna and dressing beautifully, then Prabhupada says, then you become beautifully decorated also. Kirata, Huna, Andhra, Kolinda, Kokasha, Ambira, Shumba, Yavana, members of the Kasha races, and even others addicted to sinful acts can be purified by taking shelter of the devotees of the Lord. Due to His being the supreme power, I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto Him. He is the super soul and the supreme Lord of all self-realized souls. He is the personification of the Vedas, religious scriptures, and austerities. He is worshipped by Lord Brahma and Shiva, and all those who are transcendental to all pretensions. Being so revered with awe and veneration, may that Supreme Absolute be pleased with me. So I might be a doctor, I might be a rich person, or magistrate, whoever, or I might be just this gross body right here. It's all pretension. It's all pretension. It's not who I really am. Text 20. May Lord Sri Krishna, who is the worshipable Lord of all devotees, the protector and glory of all the kings like Andaka and Vrishni and the Yadu dynasty, the husband and goddesses of fortune, the director of all sacrifices, and therefore the leader of all living entities, the controller of all intelligence, the proprietor of all planets, spiritual and material, and the supreme incarnation on the earth, the supreme all in all, be merciful upon me. It is the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who gives liberation. By thinking of his lotus feet at every second, following in the footsteps of authorities, the devotee in trance can see the absolute truth. The learned mental speculators, however, think of him according to their whims. May the Lord be pleased with me. May the Lord, who is the beginning of the creation, amplify in the beginning of the creation, amplify the potent knowledge of Brahma from within his heart and inspired him with full knowledge of creation and of his own self, and who appeared to be generated from the mouth of Brahma, be pleased with me. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who enlivens the materially created bodies of the elements by lying down within the universe, and who in his Purusha incarnation causes the living being to be subjected to his 16 divisions of material modes, which are his generator, be pleased to decorate my statements. Offer my respectful obeisances to Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of Vyasadeva, who compiled the Vedic scriptures. The pure devotees drink up the nectarian of transcendental knowledge dropping from the lotus-like mouth of the Lord. My dear King, Brahma, the firstborn, on being questioned, my dear King, Brahma, the firstborn, on being questioned by Narada, exactly apprised him on the subject, as it was directly spoken by the Lord to his own son, who was impregnated with Vedic knowledge from his very birth. Any comments?
That one verse, Prabhu, that you were reading about all the different races that are actually, eligible for the mercy of the Lord. I remember in Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrita that when Brahmananda Maharaj went to Nairobi, I think it was, to preach in Africa, that there are a lot of Indian people, body people there, and so that's who they ended up targeting. It wasn't so hard to preach to them because it's already they're familiar with culture. But when Prabhupada came and said, no, you should preach to the local people, and then Prabhupada quoted that verse that all these people that are seemingly outside of the culture, they're still eligible for that.
And then he asked Prabhupada for a name of the temple, like in Talavana.
Yeah.
And the name for that particular species or human breed, I don't remember exactly, it was an H. And the translation of it isn't exactly that, isn't it?
It's not really what he wanted to put in
It's
front
not
of
what he wanted to
people
put up
to attract people.
to attract people in.
Yeah.
Knew something, which meant, even the lower class can come, and something to that effect. I don't remember the specific. If you read the names of I don't even know if it's one of the ones that is listed, but yeah, because Prabhupada then put the emphasis not on the Eastern or the Indians that were living there, but on the actual residents of that locale.
Yeah.
Not the transplants.
Right.
He wanted all of them to be saved.
Yeah, he wanted people who have never heard of Krishna to hear of Krishna, tell them, Prabhupada said, chanting, dancing, and feasting, and hearing truth from self-realized souls who would not be attracted to this movement. And of course, we want to hear truth. But if you hear truth from self-realized souls, I mean, they were speaking from these authorized Shastra, then you're hearing the real truth, and that really, it's right in line with your personal tuning fork, you know what I mean? It's just the same vibration, but if you're really looking for it. Anybody else want to make any comments? All glories to the simple devotees, Srila Prabhupada, Shri Shri Ganetai, Shri Shri Radha Kanta, Ki Jai.
All glories to the Shalagram, Shila.
Yes, thank you. You're so Krishna conscious.
Much